Test. Are we on? Yes. Welcome everyone to the May meeting of the Bethlehem Planning Commission. My name is Rob Malosky. Other members in attendance this evening to my immediate left, Mr. Matt Malozzi and Mr. Tom Barker. If you're here in attendance, we ask you silence your cell phone at this time. Appreciate everyone with the time change. Our meetings are usually at 5. We change it to 4:30. So I want to thank everyone for cooperating. And we have a small agenda as we proceed through today's agenda. The applicant will have an opportunity to present their project to us. Following that time, city staff will have any comments that need to be made and a recommendation. Following planning commission discussion, anyone here in attendance has any comment or needs to ask any questions on the project will have an opportunity to do so. We have a sign-in sheet up there for your name and address, email, etc. We ask that all comments be related to the project proposal under review, and please be concise and avoid repeating previously made assertions. After all interested parties had an opportunity to speak, Planning Commission will have a final opportunity to deliberate. The review of the Planning Commission is based on the provisions of the Saldo zoning ordinances and other municipal ordinances. Decisions will be based on these, along with the recommendation of the city, pertinent public comment, and the public good. Our first agenda item is the approval of the April 13th, 2023 minutes. Any discussion on the minutes at this time? I will entertain a motion.
Chairman Malosky.
Mr. Malozzi.
First, like to note that the change in the formatting is appreciated. Little differences there.
I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely.
And I'd like to follow it up with a motion to approve the April 13th, 2023 meeting minutes.
Motion made, Mr. Malozzi. I will second it. Roll, please.
Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Malosky?
Yes.
Mr. Malozzi?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Our agenda item, a land development subdivision plan at 3201 Shanersville Road. With the applicant, introduce yourself, and when you are ready, you may begin.
Hello, my name is Tara Delo. I am with Integrated Consulting, and I'm here tonight to present to you the final land development plan for the rebuild of the Sheetz store at the intersection of Shonersville and City Line Road. On the easel in front of you is a plan of the existing conditions for the site. Is it okay if I?
Absolutely.
Okay, I was going to
yes,
say, I know I'm not going
absolutely.
to be picked up by the mic, but I'm going to have to turn the board. So this is a 2.22 acre site at the intersection, as I mentioned. The plan here, or the site is in the shopping center district. The plan is going to be basically everything from the curb line in will be demolished, and they'll rebuild with everything new. So this is in order to introduce Sheetz's prototypical building that goes from about 5,800 square feet now to about 6,100 in the proposed condition. It will still have a car wash, but the new store will also have a drive-through associated with it. And they're going to lose one fueling position just from going from the old arch canopy that's there today, if you're familiar with the store, to their new kind of straight canopy. So one fueling position, or two fueling positions, one island will be lost as a result of that. Pretty much everything else stays the same. We don't touch the driveway entrances. Those will remain as is. It's a shared common access onto Shonersville Road with the right out and the right in. And then there's the full movement access onto City Line Road. There's really not much to it. Obviously, all the existing utilities will be reutilized in the proposed conditions, so all public utilities. We actually have a small reduction, I believe, in the stormwater, very small reduction in the stormwater in the impervious area. However, we do have a small subsurface MRC system that accounts for the 20% hit of the redevelopment of the site. So because we need an NPDES permit, we have to account for the 20% existing impervious, and that's why there's an additional stormwater management facility that you'll see on the plans. Other than that, we intend to utilize the existing subsurface detention facility with rate combined with obviously the new MRC system on the site. Everything else is pretty much straightforward.
How old is that one that is there currently? Is it?
I want to say that the plans were back that I was looking at around 2006 when I was looking at old MPDS permits. I have to apologize. The Sheets permit manager is not feeling well, so he wasn't able to be here tonight, or he would be able to give you.
No, no problem.
So.
Ms. Heller, anything to add? I mean, the May 4th letter is pretty short and to the point, and this was something that was kind of on the books here in terms of moving forward, and it seems pretty clear cut. Anything to add?
Yes, I mean, it was a pretty straightforward review. It doesn't change the use of the site, and the impervious coverage is really not changing that much. The ingress and egress is not changing. The utilities are not changing. So it was a pretty straightforward review. We don't have any outstanding comments at this time. All of the departments in City Hall have signed off without comment.
Thank you, Ms. Heller. Any planning commission members have any questions for Ms. Kilo, who obviously presented the new plan here? Any questions, Mr. Malozzi?
Just out of curiosity, so you'll be removing all the fueling stations, like all the infrastructure, the tanks, everything will be go?
Yeah, they'll replace the tanks. Typically, they'll come in for the remodel programs and the rebuild programs, and they'll assess the age of the tanks and things like that.
Mhm.
I believe this one is slated to have everything removed and replaced. Sometimes they'll try to utilize the existing conduits going from the underground tank field back to the canopy fueling area. But I think based on the amount of rework that's happening and losing one of those positions and them kind of shifting around the site, we weren't really able to hold those positions as they were today. So yes, that's my understanding.
Thank you. And so all the sidewalk remains, everything around the site?
Yep, sidewalk remains. One item
Good.
to notice, we did have some coordination with Lanta, and we're actually going to be providing, if you can see down closer to the shared entrance on Schoonersville, we're relocating their bus stop down there to put a concrete pad, so it's an easier access for the folks utilizing the bus route through this area.
And we didn't even prompt her to mention Lanta.
Ms. Kilo, you
Say-
just, Mr.
Who
Malozzi,
got
you
to her,
made-
right?
you made his night. He is a,
I chair the board at Atlantis.
I've been working with Molly Wood on this project and the Allentown Sheets project as well.
Oh, I didn't know about the Allentown.
Yeah.
Same, doing a new model? Yeah.
No, it's a new store there, right by the Turkey Hill, and there'll be like a bus shelter that we're going to provide.
Great.
is
Provide the pad for that.
obviously the scope of this, Ms. Heller, if I may. Is there any estimation of start time, finish, and has there been any concern with traffic? Will there be any effect it will have? Obviously, Shanersville Road being a gateway road into our city. Is that something that was brought up?
Well, that's always coordinated with Public Works and the Traffic Bureau. It's something that is reviewed prior to construction for any larger site like this. I'm really not sure how they plan to accommodate that, but it is part of the review process before they start building.
Anything to add to that, Ms. Thilo, in terms of?
What I would say is I think this one is slated at this point in time for later in the year.
Okay.
They kind of, Sheets will move them on their schedules. Their year begins in September, so
Okay.
they kind of operate on a different calendar schedule than we do. So their next quarter this wouldn't be a project for this year. We're looking probably towards the end of the year, if not into early 2024. I will mention that when they come in and do these, if you've never seen them operate this, they're down and up extremely quickly. So it's a couple month process to get in, and once they're in, they mobilize, everything's down and back up before there's usually any issues. they will have appropriate traffic control and things like that if that's necessary as
Right.
well. So, absolutely.
Obviously, that's a main artery
Right.
into our city.
Yeah.
That
And I know just the one.
area is congested sometimes, and that's fine.
If I may. So you're along the traffic line, you're not touching the driveway, so any PennDOT involvement at all in this? Good for you, but you still got stuck with NPDES? I mean, because it looks like it's all impervious, but it's pretty, so there's over an acre of disturbance of non-impervious surface?
There is. So it was close. It was very close. It was too close for us to say we're under an acre, although we really would have liked to have done that. Because of some of the grading around the building to get, right now there's just the car wash. So just the way the grading and the building needs to sit on the site, our kind of tie into the grading went out into this area. But then with the canopy and the fuel island area, we were a little bit over the impervious area. I mean, we're talking like
I think even if you're over like 0.95, they'll just make you like so.
Yeah. So yes, we've been coordinating very closely with the conservation districts. So yeah, unfortunately that's. And there was no infiltration on the site, as you know. So we had to go with an MRC system for the subsurface. And we've had all the meetings with them, and they're all on board with that approach to address that 20%.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Any other?
Yeah, I see you have the 2 lanes that go around the back of the building. One's for the drive-through car wash, correct? What's the other one for? A drive-through?
The other one is for a drive-through. Yeah, so they'll have the drive-through in the back of the building, and they have the separate order board.
Is that new? Is it? Did they have it there now?
They do not have one there now, so they're gonna add that. They're doing that on a lot of their stores if there's the room to put the drive-throughs in, because they're finding that it's an attractive feature.
One of those COVID restaurant things, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Right, you gotta wear
Gotta
a
have it.
Right.
Yeah, sure. Any other questions, planning commission?
Yes, sir.
Anyone here in attendance? And we don't have many, but any comments from the public? Seeing none, any final deliberation, anything else to add? If not, we will entertain a motion for the land development plan at 3201 Channersville Road, a new sheet.
I feel like we should prolong the meeting somehow.
No,
I don't know.
move forward.
All right.
We do have discussion items.
Okay.
listed. I don't know if it will. Mr. Malone.
Chairman Malosky, I would like to make a motion to approve the land development plan for 3201 Shanersville Road. There are no conditions noted in the city's May 4th, 2023 letters. So a motion stands.
Motion made, Mr. Malozzi. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Barker. Roll, please.
Mr. Malosky.
Yes.
Mr. Barker.
Yes.
Mr. Malozzi.
Yes.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you coming in.
Good luck.
Best of luck moving forward.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Ms. Heller, anything to discuss? Any?
Well, this meeting was very light, obviously. So it looks like, we do have the project sheet in your packet. It looks like probably in June, we could have a few land developments for you to review.
Okay.
There's a project, you probably have seen this as a site plan, 218 West Union Boulevard. That's at pretty much the intersection of Union Boulevard and the Monocacy Creek, or the entrance to Monocacy
yeah.
Way, right in there. I think it at one point was a tombstones in there or something, whatever.
That's right.
So that probably is ready to be on.
It's down by the
Was that
Brewery
sketch?
Tavern. We had a sketch plan.
Old
Yeah, we
brewery,
saw
yeah.
that.
You did a site plan review there.
That was a
Oh.
cool looking building there.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, they did some site work there, but yeah.
The next one also on Easton Avenue, there is a shopping center there. And they want to add I don't know if that's public. It says fast food drive-through coffee service, I'll say. So that
Off
is,
the record.
Yeah.
Ms. Heller.
so that is pretty straightforward. That probably will be on in June as well. And then 25 West 3rd Street, is the redo of the banana factory, and probably we'll have a review for that too. So that's, what is looking good for June. I don't believe you're gonna be here in June because you're on vacation. So we've also been trying to totally clean up the saldo. So
I've been working on it.
how
I've
about,
been just lying around.
yep.
Got
So,
like half of the new changes done.
yeah. And I wanted to also, I did, usually we don't mention too many things under discussion, but I thought, we have a little bit of time. I don't need to embellish a whole lot, but just to touch on some, we've been pretty lucky recently with different grants and different projects moving forward. So you may have seen some of these recently, but, anyway, we applied for a multimodal grant for East Broad Street for some of the pedestrian and bike improvements. We did that as a part of the active transportation plan on Broad Street and Northside Alive. And so we did get that. So it starts in downtown with expansion and extension of the medians. We'll go eastward almost to High Street. We'll do intersection improvements at High, Linden, Maple, and Elm. So,
What kind of improvements?
well, each of those intersections will have bump outs.
Okay.
And they do have handicap ramps now, but we'll upgrade those. We'll enhance the crosswalks, and that'll be taking place for each of those intersections.
Any money on there for Acorn Lights for the west side for Broad Street?
No. However, we are also applying. We applied for a Safe Streets for All grant, it's federal grant, and that's new from the infrastructure bill, but we did not get approved for that. And we had a debrief that we were highly rated, but we didn't get the money. So we're going to resubmit in June, and that includes all of the improvements that we were going to do from Stefco out to Hanover Avenue. So that includes West Broad, the intersection improvements, the bike lanes, and then we would enhance the streetscape with some street trees and possibly some additional lighting. It won't be Acorn Lights all the way out. But we will be resubmitting for that. So we also won grants for, I think you might know this, I'm not sure, Monocacy Way, the southern end, to connect from Shainersville Road down to
Yes.
Sand Island
Yeah.
Park. We also received DCNR grants for Fairview Park, which is on the west side, south of Broad. And then in the fall, as a part of the I believe it's the Pennsylvania Municipal Leagues or the Mayor's Conference. There's going to be, it's called the Kaboom event. It's a big push to get the neighborhoods and the teachers in the area involved in that. And we'll have a big day where they'll all come out and be able to participate in the redo of that park. So that'll be at Fairview Park. We're also working on Friendship Park on the north side. We've been applying for some federal and also some state money for Friendship Park on the north side, which is just west of Linden. So we've concentrated some efforts on designing concepts there and improving that park. And then on the south side, we just had a public meeting to look at concepts for the Greenway. From right now, the Greenway ends at New, and then to extend that over to 3rd Street. So just a couple of weeks ago, we had a public meeting on that. It went very well, well attended. There's always a lot of interest in the Greenway, and we'll consolidate some different concepts and go back to the public with a final design. So those are some of the projects that we've been working on for Parks and Rec kinds of
Anything
things.
for the West Side Park?
Well, Fairview is the west side.
I'm talking like the West Side Park that's on 13th Avenue.
Well, we're trying to spread the love. So the one on the west side is
West Side gets
Fairview
nothing.
right now. That's not true. We did spend some money in the Rose Garden as well. There's been a
No,
lot of interest in that.
that money that was spent on the Rose Garden was from where?
We always have to match grants. So we got money from DCNR, and then the city has to match with equal funding amounts.
We did the West Side Park in 1976, I think.
There's a lot of parks.
There's
There's
not
a-
a dollar spent there since.
Yeah, there's a lot of parks that
basketball
need
courts
some
are down.
improvement.
Horrible. Our parks are so bad. I'd love to see, especially the West Side doesn't get anything. Everything's the South Side, North Side. West Side gets nothing. Hasn't got anything for years.
Keep fighting. You couldn't fight.
I know, I'm trying.
You're a resident there. That's your,
That's right.
you
Gotta
have
represent.
pride in that area, and I commend you for the passion you bring for the West Side. I have no problem with you voicing your opinion.
It's a little lopsided. Everything's South Side. One day we'll get something on the West Side.
Well, I think we talked about a few different projects that are north side and west side as well. So we're spreading the love as best we can.
What was the West Side that we talked about?
We talked about Fairview Park and the funding for West Broad Street.
Well, West Broad Street's for the whole Broad Street.
Well, it's on the west side.
But yeah,
It's West Broad.
Yes.
well, it's all a Broad Street, but I'd love to see the West Side get something one day.
Anything in
So those are
particular?
the discussion
I mean,
items
they
that we
they
had.
write grants, so
Well,
I mean, it's a good time to.
Yeah, I know. And our roads are, we're riding around on third world roads in our city. Unbelievable.
So,
You know, the most important one, 968 Benner Avenue.
What's that?
That's my one. We're getting the intergovernmental agreement before city council next Wednesday.
I have a question.
Number-
I did not-
one.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Darlene, I have a
Getting
question
done.
about the parking deck on the south side.
Third and Pole.
Third, yeah. Isn't there something going, up along the Third Street?
There
that
is,
abuts that? Or-
there was approved a mixed use structure in front of that garage.
Facing Third?
Commercial on the first floor and residential above. That's a separate,
Okay.
It's subdivided, right? Yeah.
it's a separate lot, and I don't really know their timeline for development. Originally, it was hoped, I think, that they would move forward together, but the parking authority is ready to go, so.
Because that wall is,
Who was the,
there's
you
a
see the wall?
Ron
issue there.
It's a what?
Is the developer for
There
that
might
front
be an
piece.
issue with one of the footers. Is they're trying
So
to figure out.
they're
how to-
also
There's
doing
an
the one
engineering
right
process.
next to
There's
the
something
old,
holding it up.
But if not, they just can't leave that.
they're building the one right next to the old South Side 312.
That's John's, I think.
There's really not much room.
Yes, they have,
Yeah,
um,
that
yeah,
started.
that's a,
It's-
that's
it's
a
skinny, yeah.
commercial storefront on the first floor, and they have apartments above, yeah.
So they also have the one that's gonna abut with parking. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I forget. There's so many.
Yes, there are.
I'm gonna start flashing
Any-
signs like this, West Side, like you mentioned.
Mr. Barker, you made me interpret it as
Still
a
zombie.
possible gang member. I don't know what's.
That's it.
Making the solicitor nervous
Flash
over
it.
there.
Hey, who is the
As your
mouthpiece?
legal counsel,
Yeah,
don't have me
probably
at
don't.
those meetings.
Coach, who is the mouthpiece of the West Side?
West Side?
Yeah, Roby.
Yeah,
The
damn,
barber.
yeah, the barber. He's not there anymore.
No.
Retired.
I was always picked on growing up
Yeah.
because the guys who lived like on the avenues,
Yeah.
where you lived,
Yeah.
thought of themselves as the real West Side. But no one lived more West Side than me, literally.
No, you're right.
I lived off of Pennsylvania
Yeah,
Avenue
you're right.
in that West Rosemont development. I was pretty much as West Side as you can get. Never like that.
Should we maybe turn the mics off about now?
I'm thinking, yeah.
How-
There's a
no
turf
business.
war going on right
Yeah,
now.
I don't
know. I'm going to make a motion to adjourn. Thank you again for having
Second.
the meeting at 4:30. Second meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you.